Okay, guys, couple of intro stuff before we begin. If this is your first time here, welcome. We do this every week. Usually it's a paid workshop, $25 ticket where we talk about different styles of music, sometimes specific topics about Ableton and music production. I'm gonna share this in the chat, this link. If you wanna join the newsletter, please make sure you do if you wanna get the recording of this. Although I do have your email from the RSVP, but if you wanna know about future topics, please join the newsletter. For example, next week, coincidentally, we have another free workshop hosting Dylan Baston. Dylan is a crazy Max for Live developer, Dylan Baston. He released a bunch of official stuff with Ableton, so we have him as a special guest next week to talk about all his releases, including his newest synthesizer that he just released, and we're going to have some giveaways. So again, please join the newsletter just to know about the next topic and get the links and all the tutorials that I release, a bunch of free stuff, Max for Live, exclusive Max for Live stuff, and all those things, okay? Guys, I'm going to check the chat occasionally. I'm sorry if I miss anything. Aaron and Juan, please let me know if I missed. Oh, Gio, you got the entanglement? Yeah, that's a crazy new synth. So Dylan is going to be here next week talking about this. This is our 103rd meeting, which is very exciting. And today we're going to check out Ableton's new release, 12.3, which is currently in public beta. So you guys can join if you want the beta program. You can just sign up. I'm sure they're allowing even more people in to the beta program. You just have to sign up here, make sure you have a Ableton account, and then hopefully you'll get in the beta so you can test out all the newest versions before they come out officially. And of course, today I'm using the beta version. So please be aware that this is a beta version. I would not recommend generally making projects on it. Stick to the official version. You can reach out to Ableton for support if you need. This is beta. If something gets ruined, it's beta. You know, there's no guarantees, there's no responsibility from Ableton. But that being said, just kind of testing out all the new features and also making some projects, hopefully they won't crash. But again, just take it, you know, with a grain of salt of what, you know, all the bugs and stuff and the crashes that might occur in the beta versions, okay? Il Gates is here, yes. Yeah, Il Gates, honor to have you here. Amazing. Okay. Il Gates, by the way, thank you for all the comments and stuff on my YouTube things. I see them. I appreciate it a lot. Sweet. So beta version, you can join them. I will share also with you a PDF with the video recording of just some of the links and some of the things we're going to talk about today, including a list of new keyboard shortcuts. Since Ableton Live 12, we'll go over them later. I think they're also very important. All questions, please, at any point. I might miss them, so Juan and Aaron, the admins, will let me know, but I also have a list of all the questions. Thank you for everyone for submitting them through the RSVP form, okay? Amazing. Thank you, Il Gates. Appreciate it. Ben, is the beta buggy? That's a good question. Not so much when I when I worked. I found old bugs, to be honest with you. They already submitted to Ableton. Huge bugs. Maybe we'll have time, I'll show you. But I already submitted, they confirmed it, and hopefully they're going to fix it with this next version. But I found some serious bugs, unrelated. You know what? I just side point, I have a new guide on my website. Let me share it if anyone's interested. Here, this one, talking all about momentary effects in Ableton Live. Yes, I do agree that the push stuff is a bit buggy. We'll also talk about the push today. I have it right here with me. And later, after we do the Ableton things, we'll talk about the live things. We'll talk about the new push stuff. So we'll check that out later. That is a tiny bit still buggy. Okay, nice. If anyone, Juan, if you don't mind sharing the Discord link. So if anyone's not on a Discord, feel free to join our Discord, and we can also there, we're going to announce all the new upcoming classes and stuff. Okay, amazing. Sweet. So let's just start. Thank you, Juan, for the link. Let's start with the biggest things about Ableton 12.2. and then we'll go into more of the smaller things. I might mention them as by the way as we work. The two out of the biggest updates is the stem separation and Splice integration. Let's start with Splice, because maybe we'll use some of the Splice samples to also demonstrate the stem separation, okay? First, when Ableton told me about the Splice separation, I felt a bit old because immediately I was a bit of a hater. Me and Splice, by the way, go way back. Over a decade ago, I hung out with the people who started Splice. If you go on Splice blog to the first ever blog post of Splice, this is the first, what year is this? 2014. That's the first ever blog post Splice ever made. It's when Splice used to still be a service that allows to share project in a super, I don't know if they still have it, but it was a really great, awesome thing. I don't know if they still have it. Then they became Splice Sounds and Rent to Own and all of those. But they used to be, look at young Yuda here. They just used to be sharing projects. So they discontinued that. Unfortunately, this was such an awesome way of backing up and also sharing projects in an awesome way. So unfortunately, they don't have that service anymore. I guess people didn't use it. So I was a bit of skeptical, but also / kind of didn't like the fact that Splice was forced upon us in some way, especially us that teaches. If I want to teach every aspect of Ableton, now I have to have a Splice subscription. So a couple of things. First of all, you don't have to have a Splice. You can have a free account and still access a lot of sounds. Okay, so you don't have to be a paid Splice member. Use it. You can also hide this. You don't have to see the Splice menu. Right here, you can hide the Splice category in the browser if you don't want to see it. Okay. And thirdly, I do have a special link that Splice provided for the community members for 4 months free Splice subscription. I'm still not going to post it. I think we're just going to wait for Ableton 12.3 to officially come out, and then I will share with everyone this link that you can get 4 months for free. You can, of course, don't have to continue after that, and you can just look at it as getting, I don't know, like 800 credits. So that's like it's a lot of free sounds or a couple of sample packs for free. We will share this when 12.3 gonna get officially released. That being said, I don't know when that's gonna be. Okay. Hopefully soon. We usually see that official public beta releases a couple of months before the official release. It also really depends on the bugs. And if you are on the beta program, there's a special forum called Center Code for Ableton. You can submit all your bugs there, or you can vote for new features that you would like to see. I know a lot of people mentioning the ARA, the ARA support that allows us to sync between other editing softwares like Melodyne. Right now, it's not integrated into Ableton. So that's, for example, like #1 voted on the Center Code. So if you're on the beta or if you're joining the beta, I would recommend going and submitting bug reports there, but also voting or suggesting new features that you would like to see. Okay? Just a baby. Yeah, Gio, exactly. Oh my God. I got old so fast. Anyway, Splice. As much as I use it this week, it's amazing. I gotta say that my brain, that myself finally kind of starting to admit, wow, I'm getting old, because now I'm okay with it and it's amazing and it's an incredible tool. I was a bit of a hater in the beginning because it can make things a bit too easy. But that's nothing new. Splice has been around for a while. I just kind of ignored it. Even though I have like a Splice account that they gave me a Creator Plus, whatever, and I have a lot of credits, but I don't use it because I teach a lot, and it's, also there's a whole thing to say about using Splice and downloading one sample at a time, and then you don't have sample packs, and the folder hierarchy is crazy messy. But now, because it's built in, it's much more accessible, and there is something very powerful about getting access and searching and even matching sounds to I'll show you, to the projects you're currently working on, by having it directly inside Ableton. So it is a separate subscription that you're gonna need to have. You can also do some stuff with the free. Well, I already made something. Let's see this. You can already have a free account. You don't need all of this. And it's quite powerful having it directly here. So if I find a sound, I can search for it. I can go to the library. I can go home, search by genres, by instruments. And once you search for something, I would highly recommend also using the filters here, which instruments, one-shots or loops. The samples themselves will play in the BPM of your project. This says it's 120, but it will play in 96. Hopefully you guys can hear it. If not, let me know. Okay, now the volume of this is just like the volume of the browser and the metronome. It's right here. Okay, so let's turn it up, the Q. Okay, so this will play if I spin it up here. Okay, it will play there. You can also, what was my BPM? 96. You can also change double time and half time, and you can even transpose it right here. If you like it, you just drag it into your project. Okay, once you drag it and you buy the sound, it will be added to your user library, samples, Splice. Okay, you'll have a new folder here with all the new samples that you get from Splice. So that's great. And then you'll see it, of course, in your library, all the sounds that you downloaded. So it's very powerful in that sense. Now, here I just made like an Afrobeat kind of vibe. I also wanted to kind of include some more Arabic influences. So I have some Arabic percussion, oud, like an Arabic guitar and stuff like that. And these are all Splice samples. Now, a couple of things. It's hard to describe this because it's a technology that is making things a lot easier. And if you're making music and you need to stay competitive in the industry as a music maker, you probably need to use one of these services so your production kind of efficiency will get to the level of the industry. Meaning some, songwriters might write like 6 songs a day because they're in the studio with other producers and songwriters, and this tool just allow us to get to that efficiency instead of creating everything ourselves. So it really depends where you are in that situation. You might need this or other similar tools to just allow you. So just from my experience with teaching a lot of top artists in the industry, a lot of people use this type of things, okay? So this composition, for example, it's all loops. It's all loops. So we'll talk a bit about today some tools of how to use loops, maybe change them to your own, how to find audio to MIDI if the built-in one doesn't work, and even how to use some of the search with sound, which is pretty cool. Again, all of these is just loops. Is there anything here? No, it's all loops. Maybe some of them are transposed, warped in a different way, but it's just loops. And again, I might not even have this access to this type of musicians, vocalists, and I can just search everything here. Okay, doesn't matter right now. Maybe we'll listen to it later. Nice. Now, what's cool about this, besides the filtering and all the searching and stuff, is we also have search with sound. So I can just highlight a time in my project. Let's say I'm highlighting this, just a time, and then click search with sound. It will take this time and will try to match things harmonically, melodically, rhythmically, and offer different types of sounds. Now, a lot of times it offers specific one-shots, and sometimes it's loops. I don't know why in this specific case we can't filter by loops and one-shots, maybe because it's not enough results. Okay, and it's a hit or miss. In some cases it's like, wow, that's perfectly matching, and sometimes it's like, that's not even the same style. But that's another advantage of using this type of service. We can very easily start creating hybrids of genres, just taking some stuff from here, but influences from here, and also this and this, because everything is just there. So Splice Integration, super cool. You would need a subscription at some point, unless you're using the free ones. It offers some free sounds, not too much. It is awesome, yeah, Gio. It's, Juan, I don't know exactly, but it takes everything into account. So usually it does offer you sounds that are approximately, would hopefully match. Ben, does the Splice engine in the, does the Splice engine in the browser look at your own library or just sounds from Splice? Only sounds from Splice here, and this search with sound, it's only from the Splice library, from the Splice kind of database. You're thinking of the similar search in simpler? Yes, the similar search is simpler. It's for individual samples that will search also your hard drive and sample packs. Aaron, I think Splice is great for demos and inspiration, but I don't want anyone else audio in my projects because YouTube's automated copyright strikes aren't worth the hassle. Yeah, but the trick is to do it first. New sample pack released, you make a song with it, then other people will get tagged for copyright. So yes, and also we shouldn't ignore the fact that in this case, for example, I didn't barely do anything to the sound. You can definitely change anything in the sound, and what's different this than using sample packs? I think the main advantage here that it's much more searchable than just our own sample packs that you might have to go sound by sound. So yes, these sample packs are much more available to the public, like a lot more people will have access to them. That's why also some tips when you are searching for sounds, it's always nice this button to randomize, because by default it's by the most popular. So maybe you don't want that, maybe you want to randomize. It's just kind of look at it as infinite, or not infinite, but extremely large sample pack that is very searchable and filterable with all these different types of filters. But absolutely, yes, there is, for demoing, absolutely amazing. Welch, I'll be trying to understand the best value for the Splice integration for someone who already has a Splice account, and I think search by sound hits the nail on the head. Yeah, I mean, also just having it directly here. So for example, if let's say now I want like a lead or a bass sound, I can search, let's go home, go to genres, let's go right here, Afrobeats, and I'm gonna search for like guitar sound, but I want it to be a one shot. And now, let's say I want this sound, I can turn it into an instrument even directly from here, just drag it here. Here it is. It's A, so let's make sure we transpose it to C. And that's it. Now I have an instrument, one shot, very easily from that. So again, it's kind of, it's just like a sample pack, like you would have all these sample packs right here. But it's much more searchable. That being said, of course, we do have this stuff that as much as you auto tag and then add manual tags, you'll also be able to achieve the same functionality. But yes, I agree, the search with sound is a cool, awesome feature. I also hope that Ableton will, because there is a Max for Live device for it, I can share the link, that allows you to just load the sample in a simpler, and the Max for Live device detects the letter of the key and automatically transpose it so the sample is aligned with your keyboard. Whatever you play on the MIDI keyboard or the push, that's the actual note. I hope Ableton will do it automatically. It's easy enough because all the samples here are tagged with the name of the note. So why not do it? Yeah, so that's a Splice integration. We will use it today. We'll see how much we get done. But I was a hater and skeptical, especially because it's somewhat of a forced subscription. I hate subscription stuff. When you pay for expensive software, that's it. I don't want to pay anything else. So this is in some way extra monthly money we have to pay. If you already have a Splice, of course, that's it doesn't matter. But for us who didn't, it's kind of like it's an extra thing. But that being said, extremely powerful when making music, or even just kind of adding to your music, getting inspiration and all of that. Okay. Now let's say I'm going to start a new project here. Let's go and load like a chord progression. Guys, throw me a genre. Let's say go with whatever. There's so many. That's also another thing that it's nice as if you just learning music, just to be exposed to all these names is amazing. To be exposed to the categories of sounds is amazing. That's why I always recommend to download a full sample pack and not just an individual sound from Splice, because it can just inspire you about the possibilities, about what's available. So even just this list is super awesome just to know. Dylan Ilgates, sound similarity search is brilliant. Yeah, it is. Juan, so it wouldn't be odd to see that implemented there. Yeah, I hope so. Stay in key. Is that it? No, I think I saw a different one. Damn, that's not, but it is according to the... Wait, is it? Because I saw a different one. Oh, yeah, according from file names. Yeah, so that's it. No one still have like a thing that just listen to the audio with key detection in Ableton with Max, unfortunately. But according to the file names, I saw a different one for the same for a $14. So thanks for sharing this. But yeah, excellent. Hopefully Ableton will implement it soon. Neo Soul House, let's go. Neo Soul House. Where did we saw that? Under House. I don't see Neo Soul House, but let's do Progressive House? No. You know what? I'm gonna go here. Let's do Soul. Let's do Neo Soul. Hip Hop R&B, Neo Soul. I'm gonna go instruments. No, let's do first of all loops. And let's find. Okay, let's do 150. Nice. Let's drag it right here. Okay, awesome. Dancehall, let's add maybe on this, we'll add some dancehall drums, but just 1 second. Just 1 second. Thank you for all the recommendations. Tim, what's up, Tim? Okay, Splice Integration, very useful. You don't even have to see it if you don't want to, but it's there. And by the way, you do have to log in. It will open up a web, your browser, you log in, and it's gonna show I'm already logged in. Okay, stem separation. So Ableton, I feel like this is just like, hey, everyone have it, we have to do it. I don't really think that they really wanted it. It's just a way to get up to par with all the competition. The stem separation is using these algorithms. Music AI, mostly known as Moises. Where's the Moises thing? Anyway, it's Moises. That's the company's Music AI, but I think they changed it. They own these two services, but the algorithms are from Moises. And we can right-click on any track and separate stems to new audio tracks. Now, this will probably won't be in the released version, meaning you see this option, high quality versus high speed. You have to go to Ableton's, and I gave you that in the PDF. You have to go to the library if you're on a Mac, if you're on a PC, it's somewhere else, preferences, Ableton, your latest version, create this file, options.txt, and then you have to put this right here in order to see this option, or else it will only be high speed and it's not the highest quality of stem separation. So I gave you a link on how to create this options.txt file. Where is it? Yeah, right here. It's like an Ableton explain what's going on a PC or a Mac. And I'm almost 100% sure you won't have to do this for in the official release. Okay. Aaron used to have a Moises subscription, lots of artifacts. Okay, so the high quality. Okay, let's check it out because I was surprised by the quality of the high quality. Let's first of all, while in the chat, I'm gonna do high quality. It might take a bit longer. If you're on a Windows machine, it might take even longer. But let's separate. We have these 4 options. You can of course uncheck them, and let's separate right here. Okay. I found the raw former algorithms from to be way better at stem separation than the Moises one. Yeah, amazing. I feel like there might be, and by the way, there's also the ultimate vocal remover, which is free, that with some messing around also have some great algorithms, and people will keep developing stuff, engines for it. So also worth checking out. But yeah, this is using the Moises one. It's built in, and we went with the high quality. As soon as it's done, it's going to create a group with 4 different tracks, and everything from vocals, bass, drums, and all the other music. So that might different between whatever you guys are stemming out. Now, there's a lot of people also asked about why we should even stem out. And that's a good question. You not necessarily need it. Of course, I think the obvious things are, if you're a remixer or a mashup artist, it's absolutely amazing because it allows us to very easily get just the drums, remove the drums, get just the vocals, the music. So that's amazing for those type of purposes. Now, for my tests, what you want to do is, here we have the let's say reactivate. Okay, now if I put a utility on our original and invert the phase, this is just a null test. We're testing out if it's exactly the same. If it is, it will be silence, and it's not at all. Although I gotta say that it did give me some complete silence with some files that I gave it to stem separate in high quality. So it's a hit or miss in that regard. But nonetheless, okay, a lot of these stuff are usable. Okay, you got null test every time. I got it's a hit or miss for me. Yeah, I did get some of them null, complete null, but not always. But in any case, it's really great because it allows us to take samples that might not have a separation in the sample packs, or if you're doing like stuff that are more like soul sampling. And I can take this and separate the drums and the music, the bass, the vocals, most importantly, if I want to do some more accurate sampling. So it can be quite powerful, even like if we have like breaks, even this, right? The classic almond break, I can separate that. Let's try it again. I'm on high quality, yeah. Separate that. And even get rid of all the horn hits, and all those things, and just get the drums. If you have breaks from old samples that you really like, just get the drums. And of course, just for vocals, it's really awesome to do. So we have it built in now. You do have to add, if you're using the beta, you have to add that extra thing for in the options txt. And again, like Juan mentioned, he did null test every time. For me, it was a hit or miss. So sometimes yes, sometimes no. We can test it out here. Let's give it a second. Let's see. Let's load our utility. Will it? No, but almost. Okay, but now, right? We don't have the, there's a bass here. And here we got that. So a lot of cool uses for the stem separation, but again, it's a hit or miss. Hopefully they will improve their AI algorithms, and also I hope they will add stuff that we can separate the drums even more so. That would be really great if we can do that. How much river? Possibly, Aaron, possibly. Okay. So that's the stem separation can work hand in hand with the splice integration when you get loops that you just want to separate and just use like song starters. You just want to use the bass and stuff from them. And of course, just getting vocals. It's really awesome. Let me go here to the splice, and we're going to look for like a pad sound. Pad, instruments. Let's just go instruments, synth. Can we do a pad here? Let's go library. No, home, instruments, vocals, synth, pads. I want loops. Genres, it doesn't matter. That's cool. I like that. By the way, you don't know this for me, but it's if you have a free account, it's also quite easy to route the audio from here to here and record the sampling from a vinyl. You can sample from Splice, but I'm not gonna go there. Illegal. Okay, I want to speed it up a tiny bit. Let's also add a loop here of drums. So we're gonna go back to our genres. What we said, dancehall, right? Let's go dancehall. Where is the dancehall? Probably under global. No. Dancehall. Instruments, drums, loops. That's kind of cool. Let's turn everything down. I'm also gonna load a limiter on the master just so we have some limit. Here we go. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, now another new, completely redone effect. We got the auto filter in the last update. In this one, we have the auto pan. So auto pan is new. Wait, let me check the chat, make sure I don't miss anything. LWT. Thank you, Juan. That's the one who made that tool for the sample. Yeah, that's the one that I've seen. I never tried it, but you can use tuner with Ableton for sample key detection. Yes, if it's monophonic, like a one-shot sample, one note, absolutely, the tuner, that's what it's for tuning monophonic instruments, but it won't automatically repitch the simpler, which would be nice. Thank you for sharing, Juan. Okay, nice. So here we have a new redesigned auto pan, and now it has a new mode, Tremolo. So auto pan is the same as we had before, moving from left to right, but with some new features. I hope you guys can hear it moving from left to right. Let's speed it up a tiny bit. Okay, we can invert it, change the phase, just like we did before. What's nice about here, we get some randomization here, and these are actually randomizing left and right. If you go to the legacy one, the randomization is because how the dual LFO works, it wasn't really randomizing left and right. It was also some phase cancellation. So sometimes it just will be up and down volume. Okay, what the tremolo is essentially now. So now we finally have actual auto pan randomization. Okay, you can change the shape, which is great. Super cool. Stereo mode and a lot of different ways of syncing the speed of the auto panning. Okay, now the new mode is tremolo, similar to where you went to the auto pan legacy. We have it here somewhere. Auto pan legacy auto pan. Let's load. So similarly, if you have right here, if you turn the phase down, that's now what the tremolo mode is. It cancels one of the LFOs, and we have just one LFO for volume. Okay, and let's speed it up. I'm going to do rate, speed it up. Okay, shape of the actual. And you can also go like this and invert it. So now it's if you put it like on a quarter note, it's kind of like a 4 on the floor, right? A side chain like we can set up with the auto pan. So all of this is cool. It has some extra features here which are cool. Here you can separate the high and low frequencies. The cutoff is, you can see right here, the cutoff is 600 Hertz. So let's speed it up so we can hear it better. And let's bring it back. Okay, so now it's not full all the volume. It's kind of cross-fading the low and high frequencies. Okay, so it's a bit more kind of a smeared sound. This is going to add some saturation. They call it vintage tremolo mode. Okay, and here we have a tack, so it's going to slowly introduce the tremolo, the up and down volume. Let's say add here I'm going to right click. I want this chord. So let's do convert harmony. Did you give me this chord? Thank you. I'm going to load meld instead of this. I'm going to go here. I'm going to highlight the first bar, all the notes, the entire bar, and hit Command Option J to fit to time range. You can also have the right click, fit to time range. Let's go and load our tremolo there. Okay, so it's introducing or fading in the tremolo. Now here we have this dynamic control over the tremolo amount. I'm going to change the sound into a saw, and I'm going to filter it. Okay, so now if I add this, the louder the sound, and let's say slow it down, the louder the sound, the faster the tremolo will be. Let me make the chord long so we can hear it. Okay, so it slows down and speeds up as we, let's just make it legato. As the sound turns up in sound, and it's going to be like if I have a space here and have the chord playing here. Oh, another update, by the way, which is great. You see now how we don't see the notes? This is a small update, but because the note starts before the clip start, they will not show up in the arrangement clip view. So I have to put them here, and now they will show up. So this is a small update, which is great, because sometimes the notes are not triggering, like why it's not triggering, because they start in before the clip. So now they're not going to even show up. So this will change according to the volume. If I bring this down, it will now slow down as it's getting louder and louder. Okay. Nice. So the attack is gonna restart every time it have an onset. I don't know, we can't set the threshold, but essentially, so if we have this, here the attack is restarting again. Super awesome. You have new presets because of this new redesigned auto pen tremolo, and it's always awesome to see updated effects, because some of these effects are dated back to like Ableton Live 4, Ableton Live 5, you know, and the same thing for over a decade, maybe more. So it's awesome to see this updated device. Okay, amazing. Wait, chat. Yeah, curves. Yeah. Can you do 16th down and 3/16 up with a tiny bit of slew set, a tiny bit before the downbeat? That's the shape you need for a decent kick, snare, transient sidechain. Well, let's see. You're talking about if we do here a tremolo, I'm going to invert it. The shape will do something like this. And this is the speed. We'll sync it. 3/16? You do 3/16. I don't know if you can push it. Oh, yeah. I guess we can maybe go somewhere like here. You can push it forward. Loop-sided pulse? Not this. Oh, it's 16th down, 3/16 up. I don't think you can customize this. This I would probably do with a shaper. Maybe you're already doing it with a shaper. I would probably do it shaper. Sync it to maybe 1 bar. Divide it to what? 16? And then what we said, 16 down, 3/16 up. So we can create and then map this maybe to the volume utility or audio effect track. I don't think you can do those custom up down with the auto pan. Maybe if we automate it, or if you have two of them switching back and forth, but not built in. Okay, also notice how the amount is 50% here, so make sure you turn it to 100 if you want the full effect of the tremolo. So just a side note. Il Gates, that's a great question. I don't think you can do that with the AutoPen tremolo built in. You might have to combine a few of them, or use the shaper. That being said, worth testing out all these different presets, because there are a few here that are cleverly set. So maybe some of them will get you what you need. Okay. Awesome. What if feature request? Well, it's in beta. Exactly, Aaron. If you're in the beta forum, might be worth asking for that. Okay. Let me know if there's any more questions. Ilgates, I'm sorry, I don't think you can do that built in. Probably with some trickery. And if I'll think about it more, I can give you an answer. But let's just move on, and then if we have time, we can come back to this. Awesome. So we saw that in the previous version, we can bounce track in place and bounce to new track with the new shortcut Command B. Now we can also highlight the time and bounce group to new track or bounce group in place. If you bounce group in place, it's going to replace and just give us an audio track, or bounce to a group to new track, it's going to mute those and bounce it just like we had with regular bounce track to new, but now it's group. Now, it will also include the return tracks if you have them, because it taking the audio from the main track pre-effects. So whatever effects you have on the main track, it's going to take them before, and that's where it's actually taking this audio from. Okay, so it's included with the return effects as well, with the send effects, and it's a feature. It was highly requested, so that's nice to see. It used to be like an option txt extra feature, so now it's built in. Also, Command B, by the way, to bounce to a group to a new track, you just highlight the group time that you want, and it bounces it. So that's great. We also have a cool new feature, which is bounce pace. So let's say right here, I have some effects here that I want. Let's do the tremolo. And I'm gonna add tremolo, and we're going to have it speed up like this. Okay, maybe sound like this. And I want to take just this right here and do some stuff, do some resampling with it. This will make more sense for styles that use a lot of resampling, like bass music and stuff like that. So I can take this, I can hit Command C or right click and copy, and now I can go to any other track and hit Command Option V, and that will paste it. So now it's with with the tremolo. What's nice about this feature is now I can change this, put like another, let's put auto filter, vowel, and put whatever effects you want, right? Let's put shifter, shift it up. Let's say we're here, okay? And I don't need to do anything else, just to change what we had there, and I can paste this, and it's pasting it with whatever changes we had. So you can copy whatever section you want, do stuff, paste it. Do other stuff, paste it. Do other stuff, paste it. And it will always paste with whatever you had, whatever processing you have currently. If now I delete it, it won't paste anything because that section is deleted. Okay? But this is an alternative to bounce in place or bounce to a new track. It's just kind of like an extension of the bouncing options that you can bounce, paste bounce. I copy, and then I paste bounce, command, I think it's a special, yeah, you see paste bounce, command option V, and paste bounced audio. But it's cool that you can change, paste, change, paste, change, paste. Really great for quick resampling stuff. Question for later. Have you done any stems, shoutouts versus stem roller? I didn't, but stem roller, yeah, stem roller. Thank you for offering. I'm assuming it's a freeware? Amazing. I will add that to this. Thank you for recommending us that. Let me add this here. Okay. Yeah, copy bounce from groups is amazing. How does it handle randomization? Are they the same each time needed? That's a great question. So I think it's whatever happens currently. So if I right now, let's add maybe whatever, let's add a filter, and I will constantly randomize it with LFO. You know what, let's go extreme randomization. Let's load the old school device randomizer. Let's see if we might break Ableton in this way, but we'll map this. And let's make it a bit faster. Okay, so here, let's make it resampling so it's obvious. Let's copy this and paste this, and then paste this, and then paste this. Is this the same? So it's randomized. Yeah, so it's whatever is currently the state of the track. It's, I think, always listening to the state of the track, which is super cool. Great question. Thank you, Dylan. So paste bounce. Yeah, it is an awesome new feature. I can tell you the people from Ableton I talked to, that's one of the features they're most excited about. And also we should see, because there's some new additions coming to Max for Live that might involve that as well. There's a few new exciting stuff that we might see in the near future. So that is paste bounce paste. I don't even know what they call that feature, but paste bounced audio. Okay, really awesome, especially for people that do bass music, that do a lot of resampling. It's just gonna improve your workflow and hopefully encourage some happy accidents as well with randomizations and stuff like that. Yeah, absolutely, I agree. Bass pounds and bounce groups are awesome. Okay, this also might be very useful for people, which is comparing A and B states of, I think, any effect. Might be even instruments, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see if it's instruments as well. Yeah, it's also, so any device in Ableton, now you can compare two states. Most obvious one we can think of, just to give the example, is an EQ. So if I load an EQ and I start messing around with it, I want to compare what it is to no EQ or maybe to a different state of the EQ. Now we have a new keyboard shortcut with P, just P. And it's going to switch it to A and B. You can right click and also right here go compare switch to B with the P keyboard shortcut. It doesn't mean it has to be the default state. You can change also the B state to whatever you want, do some changes, and then with P, it will compare the A and B together. And this is for every device, including the synths, the instruments, as you saw, just to compare two different things. And you can, of course, also copy them right here to each other if you need to do small changes between whatever you initially set. So also small, but really great addition to start just seeing if what you did was good. Does it retain the AB when you duplicate the device? So if we duplicate this and then I P it, no, it doesn't. That's a great question. We need to tell Ableton it doesn't retain it. If I go P here and duplicate that, no, it doesn't. I don't know if that's something there on purpose or not, but it seems like it should do. It should retain it. But that's a great question again. Compare states doesn't seem to work for the hotspot presets. Oh, what do you mean? I think if you, that's another great Animus. That's it's kind of loading a fresh thing. I wonder if that's on purpose or not, but it would be awesome if they actually keep the B state and then you load one and compare that, and load one and compare that. And if you load one at B, it loads one just to B. That's I need to tell Ableton that. That's also great suggestions. That's great suggestions. I will tell Ableton that thing. But again, it's also for instruments. So if you have two kind of presets, you can change between them. Okay. Sweet. Usually duplicate. Yeah, absolutely. We can do that and map the MIDI map to opposites on-offs. Okay, so that is the comparing A/B comparison. Some small stuff here in the browser. Command Option F can show and hide the tags. That's a new shortcut. Command Option E will show the I'm sorry. Command Shift F for the tags. Command Shift E for the tag editor. Okay. Sweet. Expressive chords, I will have to load them from, because it's a separate download from the beta, but they updated the expressive chords now, which it has some cool stuff. Let me just, right here, where is the expressive chords? Expressive chords. Should be here somewhere. Am I missing it, guys? Do you see it? Here we go. Let's load, whatever, wavetable. And let's play some, let's arm it. Sweet. So now we have a few extra options here with this learn mode. So I can go here. I can learn it. I can play a chord. Once you're in learn mode, you can just play on your keyboard on your push. And then that's going to be the chords that you learn. You can also copy between different pads. You can transpose them. And if you have the push, you now have new controls with this learn mode. You can go into learn mode. You can play the chord on the push, match it, then go outside of learn mode. It will be that new pad. And you can even transpose them very easily from the push. So you have full control over the expressive chords from the push with the new learn mode. It's kind of turn it into a chord memorizer, something that we can kind of set up in Ableton in the past with like chords and chains, but now we have a dedicated one that you can very easily build your own chord sets here and trigger them in all sorts of ways. And of course, all the other parameters that we had with the strum and stuff like that. So that's super cool. We will talk later about the push, so I'll show you some of the stuff, but that's a cool update with the expressive chords. Session view. Oh, using it to play. Yeah, exactly. So ways of doing this before, but expression chords is definitely an awesome effect that they added, and now it's even better. Sweet. As you can see, we have new icons for some of the stuff here. So just to better indicate the type of device or the type of things that you're browsing in the category. We have some new drum racks also, new samples. And there's also now a way to minimize the mixer. Let me hide the inputs, outputs, and the sends. Now you can minimize the mixer to a super small way, super small faders right here on the session arrangement or even in the session. Okay, just can be mini if you don't need to see so much. Peter, how can you load existing chord sets in the additional expression chords 1.1? I think it's the same way as you did before. So if I go right here and I'm going to create some chords here, and let me just record. Actually, here I want to do.
So
this.
I mean from the browser. In the browser you have the existing sets in the expression chord, but the chord 1.1 isn't they seem not to be assigned to it, at least not in...
Right now it's just in beta to test out those new features. I think what you would have to do if you want these in the 1.1, we'll have to go under packs. And if you go under packs, expression chords, right here you have the MIDI files for each one. So I can drag the MIDI and then import for MIDI. Okay, and then there would be, let's import this. Okay, so you can import those manually by just dragging the MIDI. The presets we have here, this is Ableton device preset. They're probably just attached to the current version.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the mixer is kind of, I mean, this can be quite useful when you just need to see more space. So it's just a small feature that allows you to shrink the mixer even more. Sweet. You think the presets are different chords than the MIDI? Oh, are they? I think these are the same. Or maybe they had some, but this should be the same. Okay, these are the presets, and right here we have all these are just the MIDI clips for those. Okay, sweet. Okay, compact, yeah, excellent. Let's say now check out some of the new things on the push, unless there's any questions, of course. Whoa. Okay. Guys, I know not everyone have the push, so we're not going to take too long with the push. I'll just show you some exciting new features with the new upcoming 12.3. Now, I am using the push right now as control mode. Okay, it's just connected to Ableton Live software. All the stuff that I'm going to show you are also going to be available on the standalone. The standalone version is still a bit buggy, so that's why I'm showing that as control mode. And also, there's an exciting new feature that allows you to connect audio interfaces to the USB connection here, so you can now very easily use preamps and stuff like that with an actual audio interface. So that's another thing I'm not going to show you. That's for the standalone to use audio interfaces with the push, which is awesome. You know what? Maybe even in control mode, you can expand it and just use it as kind of like a aggregated built-in device. You don't have to aggregate it from your OS. Okay, so a couple of things here. Let's say I keep right here, I'm going to keep a group. And we're going to load here, first of all, let's load an effect. Let's load a filter. And the first thing we have is right now I'm focused on a group track. And before we couldn't really do anything with the pads in an audio track, but now we have this. Why it's not? Can I focus on this? Let me load this here. No, okay. So let me group it. Let's map this. I'll talk about this in just 1 second. Let's map this. Okay, can we do it now? So now this is one of the most beautiful uses of the MPE pads that I've seen, where now we're able to have this XY pad that can control usually the effects or devices and instruments themselves already have two parameters that you can control with XY. But if not, as you saw, I can just group it, map it, and just have it controlled. And I can even then go and edit. I can edit the XYZ and have them map to whatever I want. So this is on an audio track, but even if I have an instrument, let's go and load wavetable. I have an instrument. Okay, so here we have a new layout again of this keyboard. Let's go up an octave. And half is going to be the XYZ control. Now, right now, we can't edit anything unless we group it and map it to a macro. And then from the macro, I can map anything that I want to the XYZ. I can even go touch, edit XYZ, and then decide what's controlling X, what's Y, and what's Z. Z is off by default. And also right now, I don't know if it works for anyone, but for me right now, Z, as you can see, I can change the pressure, but it's only minimum and maximum. There's no range, oddly enough. And another thing is, it will be awesome if we can have something like, right, like here, let's say I'm going to have a beat repeat. And the beat repeat, let's group it. I'm going to control the grid, and I want to control the filter. And then I want to also control the repeat. So when I press it, let's go and edit. Let's do Z. I'm going to do the repeat. So turn it on. So you see now. And why is it loaded out? Let's load it on the group. Okay, so now when I play, and I don't want chance. But the issue is when you move your finger between the buttons, it sometimes releases the Z. So hopefully they will make a threshold that is a bit more, that you can just press it, turn on the effect, move it around, and then release the effect. Right now, it's not there yet, but really cool concept for this XYZ. And by the way, if you load the drum rack here, drum rack, let's load whatever drum rack here. So here also we have a layout, a new layout. We have the 16 velocities, 16 pitches, macro variations, 64 pads, and now we have our XYZ control for the drum pads that we can map it to anything we want as soon as we, of course, use the macros. So this is an amazing usage of the MPE, because as you can see, it's great. It's very responsive, besides the Z, the pressure, which hopefully they will improve and fix. So that's great. I do want to just mention, it's a side note, I recently released, I shared it in the beginning, the momentary effects video for Ableton. And also there, I have a Max for Live utility called, it's the push momentary effects. So I can put this on a separate MIDI track. This will take over the push. You see the top notes here. If you focus on here, it take over this. So I can hold trigger effects with that, do the XY here, and then that's kind of like a workaround right now for them to, for us to be able to do momentary effects with the XY, because the Z doesn't work, at least for my, on my end, doesn't work as well as I wanted to. Because it would be awesome if we just, you know, effect on, effect off, but it's not really right. It's kind of, but not really. Can you pressure be mapped to sense? Sense of what? Of the detune? Anything you can map to a macro, you can map it. But once again, for me, the pressure, the Z axis, is only on-off. It doesn't give me range. So it might be only for me. I check the settings. I don't know what's going on. If anyone can confirm it or on their end, I don't know what's happening. So Z right now is not as I think it needs to be. But XYZ, super cool new feature, and just how they kind of showcase the capabilities of the MPE to not use it only as pads, but even as just expressive faders, vertical and horizontal. I'll show you even more ways of how they did this in the new features of the push. So that is XYZ, really cool for effects, of course. Very excited about that. Rhythm generator. So let's see this. I'm going to, let me load a different drum rack. Maybe we load, these are not. Let's say this. Okay, so here I have a drum rack, and we're gonna solo this. Okay, and like before, of course, we can sequence it. Let's do some, what BPM are we on? 150. So maybe something like this. Right, maybe something like this, and we'll go like this. Let's do just 2 bars. I'm gonna go back to the layout to loop selector. We're just gonna do 2 bars. And we're gonna cancel that right now. Okay, we'll do some hats. Okay, nice. Now, let's say we want to add another percussive element. I'm going to choose it. Let's say this one. Hopefully you guys can hear it because it's kind of quiet. I'm going to boost the sound with just a rack here. Let's go with this. Okay, nice. So now we have another option for the drum rack, which is our rhythm generator. This is the rhythm generator MIDI tool that we have right here inside Ableton. Now it's being ported onto the push. And I hope it's just an intro to bringing all the MIDI tools into the push. So I can select the sound, and here I have 4 columns. And again, this is functioning similar to the XYZ control as a fader. So here we have the amount of steps. Wait, I think because I need to be here. Okay. Oh, sorry. I'm going to put it here so we can see what happens to the clip. But here is the amount of steps, the length of the sequence, the density of the notes in the sequence variation of the sequence itself and the offsetting. So now it's so much easier to come up with rhythmical patterns because we have this rhythm generator built in the push. Okay, so super cool. Just the MIDI tool that we already have, but finally been integrated into the push. Hopefully, again, it's an intro to seeing other MIDI tools devices. So that's the rhythm generator inside the drum rack as a new layout, which is very exciting. Honestly, again, using this as this is super expressive. So just if you don't have the push, just know that it feels like a fader. I still feel the separation between the pads on my finger, but still it's like so smooth, this thing. So it's great. I love how what they're doing with the MPE control. So rhythm generator built in the drum rack. Yeah, it's super awesome. Sorry, I'm missing some stuff in the chat. The jump between figures thing that doesn't work too well in my testing of it. Yeah, me too. I hope they will fix it. FYI, your momentary effect site has broken pop on Safari, renders the page unfunctionally. Thank you for letting me know. I think maybe only Safari. One really silly thing is I can't get used to the clicking for volume knob. Oh, you're talking about the clicking here? This? You have to make sure to let go fully before pressing again. Yeah, exactly. One cool thing would be to resample the MIDI from the rhythm generator and create generation interactively with the pads. Yeah, I mean, they can take it so much. Yeah, acts like a Launchpad Pro. Innovation just sent me a Launchpad Pro and does integrate kind of the faders as the pads really nicely. Okay, so that's the rhythm generator. Another really cool thing that, again, kind of utilize this MPE control, the slide control on each pad, is that now, let's say I have right here, I have this, let's say remove this so we can hear it, but I have this roll of this percussion sound. Now I can hold accent and I can change the velocity of each pad right here just by sliding my finger up and down. You can also see it right here, velocity. So that means I can just slide like this to create kind of a ramp. Okay. So that's editing velocity on the pads directly with the accent, which is another great addition. It just makes programming much faster. You don't have to go to the clip and edit velocity here, or hold the pad and edit velocity from there. It's just holding accent and editing. Really great addition as well. Stem separation. So we also have stem separation on the push, and I believe it will support the push standalone, I think, eventually. I don't know how fast it is on the standalone, but here if I go to and just load, let's say I'm just loading like let's load here again like a tune, and I'm gonna cut it so it's not like we don't have what? Come on, crop it. Oh, I guess it's taking a second. I don't know why. Did it crop it though? It didn't crop it. Crop this, please. Okay, just so it's short. So here on the push, I see that. I can click, if I go right there. Let's go convert. And now we also have the option to do stems. And it should convert. What happened? It's converting. And it will also give you a menu of the 4 different elements of separation. I don't know why it didn't ask me now, but you can do the conversion, the stem separation from the push as well. And it will support the standalone as well. Okay, so really great additions to the push. Still, there's some stuff that they need to fix, and they have to give us more control over Max for Live. I do know Ableton did tell me that the control for Max for Live, right now we can only control the encoders, but finally we'll be able to also map these and show on the screen So that's coming soon as well. So we should also see some really great new Max for Live devices that have even more control over the push. And eventually, I know it's coming, it's not going to be anytime soon. Eventually, we'll also have some screen control for Max for Live users. Now, there is going to be a couple of new MIDI tools for Live that are currently not available. It's going to be new generation tools and I think new transformative tools from one of the independent developers, but make so much stuff for Ableton, like the CV tools and Performance Pack, Iftach. I talked to Iftach. These tools are probably not going to be ready, the beta, by the end of the month, so that's why we're not showcasing them today, but there are new MIDI tools coming to Ableton as well. Dylan, what do the stems sound like? Do they have the horrible watery spectral thing? So some of them do. Some of them does a good job. Some of them have that spectral watery thing. Is the audio to MIDI able to handle the stem separation artifacts? Audio to MIDI, by the way, I just want to recommend something to people. If you guys are using audio to MIDI, and sometimes the audio to MIDI of Ableton doesn't... What? Okay, you see this? I think that's because of the beta. So this shouldn't happen. See what's going on here? That's something that rarely happens, but it happened to me before with Live. So I'm gonna just restart it. There's some memory leakage from something, and I'm gonna just restart it again. So for audio to MIDI stuff, the built-in algorithms of audio to MIDI, the Ableton stuff, harmony, drums, melody, they're not always giving us a good result. It's sometimes super messy. It's sometimes not even, you know, it's not even usable. So I just want to recommend everyone, I'll give you a link, there is a free plugin called Neural Note, and that is also audio to MIDI. It's very immediate. You just drag your, I'll show you. You just drag your audio file there, and it gives you better results in most cases from the built-in one. So I usually use the built-in one, but if that not works, I'll just load the Neural Note. It's a free plugin. Whoops, not this. This one is a free plugin, and you can just drag, let's say I'm gonna take like a song starter of some sort. Maybe, yeah, let's say this. I'm gonna take this, right click, show in Finder, and I'm gonna drag it in right here, and it will give us the MIDI for it, okay? Neural Note, because the built-in algorithms, again, it's a hit or miss. Sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's not even remotely usable. What exactly is occurring with the density aspect in the MIDI, or where can more information be found about it? Oh, are you talking about the rhythm? I think if you're referring to this, I think Dylan already answered you. But yes, so here we can decide how many steps is the length of our sequence, meaning how many variations we can have, what's the length of the sequence. Here is how much notes, let's say I make it even longer, and this is the same tool as we saw on the push, okay? How many notes will be filled up in the length of our Euclidean sequence, okay? And then if you have not full or not only one, you also have all these, sometimes thousands of different patterns that you can check out. You can switch between using the pattern knob. So this is just how many notes are in there. And you'll see the density in other MIDI tools, like the seed, which is just randomizing with these parameters, the MIDI. So how many notes we're going to have in the clip. Okay, so that's usually what density refer to, especially in this regard to these MIDI tools. Okay. Nice. Let's go over some keyboard shortcuts. Some of these are old, some of these are new. Just stuff, it's not all of them, but just things that I think can be quite useful to your workflow to start kind of speeding up your workflow. And I would recommend, I'll send you this PDF, of course, just to maybe take your time and let's say you produce in one day, just kind of force yourself to use those to put them in your brain. So first of all, this is new from 12.1, I think, but we used to have to go inside the Ableton preferences to change the zoom display. Now just Command minus Command plus. Okay, so just so you know, you can change that from inside Ableton. These, when you're working inside a MIDI clip, you have these 3 tabs. So sometimes, especially with the envelopes, or if you're using the MPE, you want to switch between them. That's our Option Shift 1, 2, and 3. Okay, Option Shift 1, 2, and 3. And of course, I also gave you the Windows shortcuts if you have them. These, for me, are essential. I use them all the time, which is bringing up the clip view, Command Option 3, bringing up the device view, Command Option 4, if you have any devices there and stuff. And Command Option E is to expand the clip view all the way to the top. Okay, so if your clip view is something like this, Command Option E is to expand it. Okay, essential. Okay, nice. Editing, these are not new to 12.3, but just a couple of things so everyone knows. Command E to split the note to the grid size. Okay. You can keep holding Command E, or keep holding Command, release the E, and use the arrow keys to divide it to as many divisions as you want. You can also use a, what was it? Command and E to drag up and down. Okay, if you want to divide it like that. You can also hold E to cut the note. You see? If you want, right now it's not quantized. If you want to quantize, just hold E and then hold Command, and then it's quantized slicing. So you can even slice it like that. According to the grid, so you can of course change the grid size if you need. Command J to just consolidate notes, which is very useful. We saw that fit to time range, which is really great. So let's say I have all these notes and I want to make them into a chord. I can just highlight whatever time I want and hit Command Option J, and that will fit to time range. So that's also very useful when you have notes that are not playing at the same time. You just want to fit all of them to the same time range. Nice. F to fold notes, that's not new. G to scale, K to highlight the notes of the scale. Okay. W and H, that's also not new, but those want to adjust the height and the width. Oh, invert selection. I don't know when, I think that's added in 12. But if I highlight these notes and I want to highlight everything else, we have Command A to select all the notes, Command Shift A to select the inversion. So that's also very useful. That being said, I want to remind everyone, you do have the search here, and here you also have a few things you can search by, like condition, active notes. So if I have a bunch of deactivated notes, I can select all the active notes and then invert that. So select all the deactivated notes very easily and delete them. Apply MIDI tool, Command Enter. This can be very useful because here, for example, where's our drum rack? I'll just give you a quick example. You saw this already for me if you've been to the classes. But let's say we have a beat here. And let me create a beat very quickly with, where was it? You guys know Dank Sauce? Was it this? Okay, let's say this one. Whatever. But here, if I want to apply a tool, let's say the seed, I want to apply this right just here, I can hit Command Enter, and it will endlessly, let me make sure we're selecting all the, right? And just Command Enter to apply the MIDI tool. So this, for example, can give us endless fills or turnarounds. So Command Enter is very useful to just click Generate here. Nice. This I didn't know until recently. I don't know how new this is, but Command Shift B is kind of a weird one. If you have a MIDI clip, you can hit, and let's disarm it. I guess the push is auto-arming. Command Option B, it will focus on the clip, arm the clip, and be ready for step editing. So now I can play a chord and use my arrow keys, which you can do that before, but Command Shift B, prepare your clip. It does a few actions to prepare for step editing. So that's a weird one. I don't know how old that is. I don't know when they added that. Okay, bounce to new track, Command B, essential. Bounce paste, you probably use it a lot. Command Option V, possibly even more than the Command B. I don't know. We do have a freeze track, an unfreeze track command now. So that's a Command Option Shift F. Command Option Shift F to unfreeze. And all these shortcuts usually will show, will show in the menus. That being said, if you don't have a menu for shortcuts, if you're on a Mac, you can make your own custom shortcuts. Okay. Wait, guys, can you please confirm you actually have this? Maybe I added this. Guys, can you confirm you have the freeze shortcut? Ben, thank you so much. Thank you. Guys, can you confirm you have the freeze shortcut? Five, yes, Dylan, 5, the quintuplets. Freeze and unfreeze shortcuts, perfect. Command Option Shift F, really great for freezing and unfreezing. Thank you, Animus, because I think I did add it in the past, but now it's built in. Very useful. Metronome with O. By the way, guys, you know you can have your own custom metronome sounds. I think so I showed that to Ableton, and I think they didn't like it at all because it's a super hack, and they might removed it. But O is to turn on the metronome, and if I turn on my Ableton 12 regular, you would see, just 1 second, that I have other metronome sounds. Maybe let's see if it still works. Just 1 second. You see this? So I have an Instagram video how to add your own custom metronome sounds and show them here. But I think I don't know why there was a meeting and I told Ableton, hey, check this out. And I don't think they liked it. So I think they removed the option to do that in the beta. But who knows? We'll see with the official release. So O is to turn on metronome. C and S, essential for arming and soloing. And let's check out just the browser. I mentioned these, but let me check out just the browser, new browser shortcuts, Command Option Shift F to open the tags when it's loading, tags. And if you search a bunch of stuff and you want to go back, you can also do Command open bracket to go back. It's like a history of the browsing, and Command open bracket or close bracket to go forward in your history of the search. So that's kind of like undo the browser searching, Command open bracket, close bracket, that square bracket thing. Okay. And something that I feel like can be amazing that you should remember this shortcut. Let's say we load this. Let's say we do whatever here. Okay. Let's do like a beat. Yeah. And we'll do something like this. Okay. And maybe some percussion or something, shaker, another snare, and a rim shot. Let's launch that. Wow, that's so bad. Maybe this one. Okay, and now I can click on the drum rack, Command right arrow key. And that will just switch all the samples. You can do it, of course, from here. But just Command right arrow key, and then I switch the entire drum rack. And it's showing and it's searching similar sounds also for my own sample packs. Okay, and I'm assuming also the Splice ones that you downloaded. And you can click on an individual sample and do a Command right, left, and right to scroll through samples here. It's just so much easier than to go into your browser, especially if you have like a starting sound that is roughly where where you want it to be. Okay, freeze and flatten shortcuts, amazing. Thank you. Yes, guys, I don't know if the metronome sounds will work with the new one. I might accidentally told Ableton, and I showed them how to do it, and they're like, okay, maybe we'll block it. So I don't know. Adam, that's a good. It's not a stock one, but there's some Max for Live devices for it. So I can't think from the top of my head, but if you go on maxforlive.com and we search that, or we just search this, no, but the scope, there's a bunch of them that can can do that. Not built in, at least not that I think. Okay, all these shortcuts are awesome. The trouble is remembering them all. Yes, I agree. You might want to print them and have them kind of next to you. And again, just like every session, use a different one. Okay, and kind of force yourself, hey, I gotta use that in some way. I think that's a great exercise to doing those things. Okay, amazing. Guys, let me know if there's any questions. I'm gonna start just answering some of the questions that were submitted on with the RSVP form. Okay, and I won't have time to go over all of them because it's a lot of stuff. So just bear with me. Okay. Sound similar swapping in standalone? Damn, no, unfortunately not. Fortunately not. I wish they will put it in. Okay. Dylan, I see you ask handling snapshot automation. Can you elaborate on that? Not sure what you're referring to. How can one get better results from stem separation once the stems are generated and there are still several items within a stem? That's a great question. I think you can run the stem separation again, but maybe even use an external one because this is in some way limited and using, again, those algorithms from Moises. And I don't even know if those are limited to the full functionality of their own algorithms and what they give Ableton to use. Isotope, yeah, Isotope now owned by Native Instruments. I don't know if they still have their educational things set up, but we can check, see if we can get educational stuff. How to consolidate all MIDI onto one view. So this is multi-clip MIDI editing. And if right here we have some MIDI clips, let's say we have this, and then here we're going to create a few other ones. And here we'll also do with the seed. And this is true also for arrangement. Same thing. You just want to select all the clips together. Make sure that the clip view is open, Command Option 3, or just come down here. And then you'll see all the MIDI clips together. You can edit whatever you click on. You can edit by just clicking on it. And now I'm editing this clip, or this clip, or this clip. Of course, it helps when you have separate colors. Or you can click Focus. And then just whatever you highlight with this top bar, you'll be able to edit, but still see all the other notes in the background, okay? So that's multi-MIDI clip editing, very useful. How does one keep updated with the changes? I will share with you a link. I think the best place, and this is for the beta releases, but not only, the best place is the release notes. Okay, Ableton always put the release notes and even more detailed release notes with the official releases that have completely new features and not only bug fixes. So I will share the links here. There's one for Ableton Live and one for the push. Those are the best places to keep updated with all the changes. And sometimes, by the way, even the bug fixes have some huge things. Okay. By the way, can someone confirm this? I sent this to Ableton. They connected me with the coders, so I think they confirmed this bug. But check this one. If I have audio, and I'm going to open a new MIDI track, and I'm going to route the audio from here to here with a compressor by just setting it up like this. Okay, so now it's coming out from this track using the audition mode. And then I'm going to put a filter. Okay. And then I'm going to, this is what I did in my momentary effects a video where we use this envelope and we map this to the on off. You see what happens? Even though it's off, it still works. So if you guys can confirm it, but I already sent this weird bug to Ableton. That's super annoying. I missed the Ableton deep dive into the new features in the browser. Could you do a quick recap? Let me just, so I don't know if Ableton have the recording of this or not. We did an official browser deep dive on the Ableton Discord that Ableton hosted. But I just want to show you this, a couple of things. First of all, when you go to any one of these categories, including your own locations on your computer, what you can do is you can open up the tag editor, Command-Shift-E. You can create a new group of tags. Let's call it like faves. Here it is. You can create a new tag. Let's call it best ever. Okay, right here, best ever. So now I have this new tag and tag category. I can go to anywhere. If it's a device, if it's a preset, audio effect, MIDI effect, clips, samples, loops, whatever it is. It doesn't matter what type of file it is. And you can add it now. I can click, let's say, envelope MIDI. I can go down here to the quick tags and do best ever. Here we go. I'm going to add it to my best ever. Okay. Let's go also add, let's say, this Max Vola device, push monitor. It's not released yet. I'm going to do best ever. Okay. Nice. Now I want to add this best ever to a category in my browser. I'm going to go all, open up the tag search, Command-Shift-F, and go scroll down. Here we go. Here it is. I'm going to click best ever, and then I'm going to click plus, and I'm going to add it right here to my browser. I can then put it wherever I want. I can change the icon. And if I need, I can go under next to library and hide whatever I don't want. Okay. Sometimes I don't want some extra stuff here. So this is super useful to create your own custom categories. This is an empty category. It just added whatever. It doesn't matter. Just to have a separator. So I just renamed it with a bunch of dashes just to separate the built-in ones with these ones. I don't want to see this anymore. And I'm probably going to delete this. Delete. Okay, so that's extremely useful. Another thing is, if you use plugins that you use the VST2 audio units, VST3, sometimes you'll have your plugins 3 versions because you installed all of them. You would have, you see, audio units, VST3, VST2, and so on. So I created a custom category for plugins, and I only show the VST3 or whatever you want, and then I hide my other plugins. So it looks like the built-in one, but in this case, it just shows me the VST3, so I don't see duplicates, but also still I have access to all the audio units and stuff if I need for collaboration and stuff like that. Okay, those are the biggest things I would say right now about the browser. Let's make sure we get to all the other questions. Okay, those are super useful. As you can see, I have my own kind of categories here that are extremely useful. Wait, stuff in the chat. Does those new filters transfer over to the push standalone? Vincent, what's up, Vincent? Wow, that's a great question. I don't think they do. I don't think they do. You might have to... I would say no. That's a good question. Don't forget, I did erase my best ever tag, I believe. Right? I did, yeah. I did. I have, you see, I have my favorite tags. That's where I put all my custom ones. I dragged it. You see, I dragged it to the top. So I always see it on the top here on my tag search. And then it's easy for me. Here's all my plugins that I use, breaks, best drum racks for classes, sequencers, utilities that I use almost on every track, on every project. Just like like for example, this project organization. I have here a device to delete all disabled clips, rename clips to track names, color everything, and smart number everything. So once I finish kind of a session, it's easy, click, 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 and I'm good to go. Yeah, cleaner device, yes. Is there a max amount of tags? I don't think there is. Maybe it's a ridiculous amount. I don't think there is a limit. I need to talk to, I forget his name, but the guy who actually develops the head of the browser. They have a whole team just for the browser development. Oh, your editor for Aminus for the, thank you for the music production podcast with oh my God, Brian Funk, DJ, oh my God, I'm eludes. Brian Funk, yes. Ah, you're the editor, amazing. Yeah, if anyone wants, I don't know if you have the link you can share. I was just at a podcast, it was just released with Brian Funk, so if anyone wants, we're just talking about a bunch of stuff there. Okay, amazing. So those are some of the browser stuff. Someone asked, Kalen, are you here? I don't know if you're here. You asked about the LA Beats. I don't know if you saw the workshop, but we have specifically LA Beats kind of Flying Lotus workshop that you can check out. If you already saw it and you have specific questions about that, we can maybe address it. To separate MIDI controller is, who's this? Is Daniel here? He has something about separate MIDI controllers. I'm not sure if you can elaborate about the question. Okay, pace bounce, we talked about this. Yeah, Oh, someone asked here about kind of modal interchange stuff. Stem separation, widening techniques. Okay. We'll see. I just want to show you something that is coming up very soon. It's not released yet because my co-developer moved to China to teach at a university there. He's originally from Portugal. But I don't know if you guys have this the keyboard, the sidebrain keyboard. So this is just a utility, and it allows us to just show whatever we play, but also have a key detector here. So we have some new additions coming up because someone asked about how to kind of add these different chords in different scales. So this right here, we have a couple of new features here. First of all, we're going to have a push monitor. So if anyone for the push want to know what they're actually playing, this note will actually show the actual note. It won't check it. So it's going to look a tiny bit different, but this is coming. Okay, a push monitor. But also here, we'll have the auto scale. So look at the scale right here on the top. If I play a chord, so it's changing the scale automatically. That means that on other tracks, I can have the scale MIDI effect turn on here, and it will scale it. Okay? It will scale it automatically to whatever chords I'm playing on this track. And you have 3 modes, pentatonic, diatonic, and jazz, which more modes and stuff like that. So this is coming very soon because someone asked about that. I just can't find the question specifically. And someone also asked about changing or only receiving MIDI from specific controllers. So that's just changing the MIDI from, let's say, for my Minilab. And this, for the lead sounds, I will only receive from the push. So now I don't even have to arm it. I can just put it on monitor in. This will only receive from my Minilab, and this will only receive from the push. Do I have to change it here? Okay, well, I guess you do have to. Oh, is it stuck on something? Anyway, you can adjust the controllers like this, or my big keyboard here. So just for my big keyboard and for my small keyboard. Okay, so that was also a question. What are the current limitations and strengths of the new stem separation feature? I think the main thing is just what it can separate to. Like, I would love to see about the separating drums to even more stuff. Wait, what, Daniel, what were you asking? Which one was that? Thank you, Juan, for sharing. Okay, let's go see more questions. Let me know which... the MIDI controller separation. Yeah, so just here, you just want to receive from here. You don't even have to arm it, just monitor in, so it's always listening. And here, I think that's what you were asking. Just the MIDI from, that's the main thing. Drum separation algorithm is good here. Thank you. I will share the link. Is this free? Amazing. I'll share all these links. That's great, guys. I'm going to use those as well myself. Adam, random question. Is there a DAW that goes below 0 or above 999? I'm assuming you're referring to the BPM. So Ableton can only go below 20, up until 20. And it's we got to remember that this is a matter of it's only a matter of resolution. It's not a limit. So that means that even though my BPM is on 20, or for the other extreme, 999, this is, again, only a resolution, because I can make I'm not going to open it right now, but I have some projects in 999 just to prove the point that if we divided enough, you know, our clips might be much longer, but if we divide enough, we can be in around 125. I think it divided to 125. Or if you're too slow, you can still, let's go to 20. I might have to zoom in a lot, but I can still divide it, right, into much faster. And that goes the other way. If I'm on 20, I can go and have very long notes to go essentially, the result, the music result, will be much slower than 20. So we just need to look at BPM as a resolution, but that's a good question. If any DAW, I'm sure DAWs can go above and below 20. Decimals, that's a good question, Adam. I think you're right. Maybe 999, 99. Oh, no, we can't. That's the top. We can't 999. That's the top. But again, look at BPM as only a resolution of your framework of what you're working in. You can always make it longer, faster, or slower with the actual notes that you put in. And if this can go very small, like I can go, we can divide the grid into, let's see, 16,000. You see? So each note here is divided now to 16,000. And I can then go and divide these into more. I don't think we'll have the resolution to see it. Oh, you see, we only see the 2 because I can't divide the grid even into more. But we can go very, it's right there, 3, 4, it disappears. But by this rate, it becomes pitch, the rhythm. It becomes pitch. We don't really, our brain can compute the differences between those short notes. But it's a great question. Oh yeah, Juan, absolutely. That's exactly what I mentioned. Yes, at some point, rhythm becomes pitch, and essentially, or technically, or conceptually, all pitch is rhythm, if we slow it enough. Adam Neely, I think. Is that video from Adam Neely what you shared? Has a great video about that. Also, assuming the computer strength has to be the same or equal. For very fast stuff, I'm assuming you need like, it's gonna take more events are gonna get triggered in a shorter span, so you need more computer power. 12-tone. Oh, 12-tone, the one who paints everything. It's funny, 12-tone, his videos are much older. I think it's like, I don't know, he's been doing it for a while. And you can see, although Adam Neely does an awesome job, but there's a lot of videos that 12-tone did first. Doesn't matter. Adam Neely is amazing. He does really awesome videos. Okay, great. Let's see some more questions here. Best native mastering tool in Ableton. I would say the obvious answer right now would be the limiter, of course, but I would also want to recommend limiter. By the way, me personally, I would set it up like this: true pick, mid-side mode, auto release, maximize, and link the two sides like 45, and then this as much as you need. But of course, don't have this as your sole effect. But I would not ignore the roar in multi band mode. With very small amounts, maybe with different ones, very small amounts, digital or even tube of saturation, okay? With maybe different filters for each band, but very small amounts can really accentuate the detail of the sound. And also the saturator in hard clip mode, this I would probably even put on individual tracks and groups to hard clip them. So overall, you can become a bit louder. So those 3, and of course, the classic usual suspects, EQ, multiband. I might not use the multiband in Ableton, although they supposedly fixed it, but it does create a few phase issues. But just those 3 out of like the new devices are really great because of the hard clipping. Maybe not analog clip here, because it can create some colors. Maybe digital clip. And multiband, I have a preset. I released a free RAW preset pack, and one of them is my RAW master thing. that I use a lot. Okay, and it's very gentle, as you can see. And sometimes I also take it dry wet, I take it lower. So those three definitely, alongside some of the classic other ones, like maybe stereo expansion, multi-band compression, whatever you need for your style. But the better the mix and the bus processing, the easier you will have to go with your mastering chain. Okay, but the new limiter is great. Thank you, Juan, for sharing. When will 12.3 be released? I don't know. Where is the hit song button? Honestly, the Splice is getting us kind of close to that button. It's kind of crazy what you can do with just loops these days. And by the way, if you're feeling like, oh, Splice is cheating, or it's kind of like a shortcut, it might be a good challenge just to prove to yourself, do I need Splice? Is it a good tool? Can I actually make music with it? To challenge yourself to make a whole beat just with Splice loops, maybe with one shots, but just with loops. It's a great way to also take us back to old production techniques where they, like early 90s, mid 90s, late 90s, where a lot of artists were audio sampling artists. That is an art by itself. People like not the Prodigy used it, but Fatboy Slim. Fatboy Slim is an amazing producer that a lot of his stuff was just mixing different audio loops together in a very clever way, in a very kind of musical hearing, but still, it's kind of like just using Splice today for just loops. And challenge yourself to see if you can make a whole hit song from that. But that's probably our closest to a hit song button, rather than go to Suno AI and ask it to make us a specific music in a specific style. Okay. What is the best workflow to handle unfinished projects and drafts? I think, first of all, just to side note for the AI, Suno.ai can be quite impressive with inspiring ideas of our unfinished projects, because you can go to Suno.ai, upload an idea that you have, let's say 30 seconds a minute, and Suno will give you options according to whatever you ask it for, like whatever style, or even with lyrics or not. It will extend it to a full finished idea and arranged song, or just a beat. And it can be quite inspiring to wait. I didn't even think I can take my idea there. So that, as much as it's scary, all this Suno and AI stuff that are coming, it can also inspire us and show us where can we take our ideas that we just got stuck with. Okay. And also another thing, just more old school stuff, is to actually write down what else you need to do. If you know you need to do, like I know I need to finish this this section, add drums, add that, like literally make a list, like a to-do list, helps a lot with that. But the Suno AI extend feature helps a lot with like whoa, I can't believe I hear my idea with lyrics or with like a full arrangement, or so worth checking it out. Current limitation, yeah, closer integration with live acoustic performances. I'm not sure what that is, but we had a bunch of questions about hardware, integrating hardware stuff. So I don't know if this is more about hardware gear, synths, and sequencers. If you have the push, you can sequence from there. If not, I would recommend getting or a USB to MIDI or a MIDI interface so you can sequence all of them. But we'll probably do, and we did in some of our classes, we'll do a separate workshop just on working with audio. Juan, for the acoustic question, probably running an extra interface using ADAT into push and do the sturdy live session. Yes, but also now with the new update that is coming out, we'll be able to just connect a regular USB interface to the push. So we hopefully will not need specifically an ADAT supported interface, which we can, and it's amazing, but we'll also be able to use regular interfaces as well, which kind of solves the issue with the push that doesn't have preamps or XLR connection. So we will be able to solve those things very easily. Can we have more time code functionality? Guys, I just want to mention about the things, the most requested features of Ableton, which are mostly the ARA integration, all the time code, transferring tempo tracks, all those things. It's on Ableton's list. Okay, they're working on it. It's just always Ableton how they implant those things or kind of build those integrations. It's in their own Ableton unique way. Just like the take lanes that took years to do, they did it eventually in their own Ableton way, and it's amazing. It works great. So it's coming, but I'm assuming, for example, the ARA, whatever you want to call it, integration, it's not going to be ARA integration. It's going to be Ableton's own thing that's going to make it work in a seamless way. So it's coming, including the time code kind of compatibility and stuff, but it's not there yet. There's an instrument Francis Preve made, I believe, that morphs from a bass to kick by slowing down the waveform. Oh yeah? Francis Preve, I had a whole day with him back in Ableton Loop, like years ago. We hanged out a bunch. We know each other. He's a great dude. We're good friends. And he, by the way, is an amazing sound designer for a lot of presets in famous plugins. And hardware. He does. Amazing sound designer, if anyone knows Francis. For us on playback, that would be super cool. Yeah, I know. It's coming. It's coming. Is there a way to contact Ableton for scientific purposes? Adam, if you can elaborate more, or maybe email me about that, I can connect you with the right people. Okay? I can't promise that there will be but I can at least try to connect you with whoever needs to be connected in Ableton. Vincent, are they working on MIDI 2.0 features? So I really hope that it will be, let me tell you this. I went NAMM, this NAMM past 2025 NAMM this year. There was a panel about MIDI 2.0. The guy who leads, I know the guy who is in charge of the MIDI 2.0 kind of movement in the MIDI Association organization. They reached out to all the main companies, and that includes Apple, who makes Logic, Steinberg, who makes Cubase, FL Studio, Bitwig, Ableton, and a lot of other companies that are involved in these DAWs or MIDI world, or even manufacturers of hardware gear that has MIDI. A lot of them replied. They had meetings about it and stuff. Ableton didn't. I don't know, it's because at that time, Ableton was going through some changes as a company internally. And they just didn't have the capacity, the manpower, or it's Ableton being snobbish, like they usually are, in a good and bad way, of course. And they didn't want to participate in this, collaboration between all. But this is MIDI in its core. It's a collaboration between all the manufacturers of audio, playing instruments and software and stuff like that. That's what it is. That's what MIDI is as a protocol. So I don't see it anytime soon. Hopefully Ableton will just come to the table and won't be forced to come to the table just because all the other softwares will start integrating MIDI 2.0 features, and Ableton will just left behind and they will have to do it. Similarly to what happened with the stem separation, in my opinion. I don't really know for sure. So no, the answer is no, but it is happening. Like there's a lot of advancements with MIDI 2.0. It's going to be amazing. Two-way communication between all the hardware and software, and a lot of other cool stuff. But right now, not with Ableton. Oh, Animus, if you don't mind sharing the link, that would be great. Okay, amazing. Yeah, all the other questions, there might be all too much for right now, or we'll do a dedicated class about that. Sweet. Amazing. What's released, Vincent? Oh, thank you for sharing. Francis, guys, has amazing presets. He's a sound designer. Really great, awesome stuff. Amazing, guys. Any other questions? Max for Live updates in this release. Yes, there are. Right now, the main ones is that we're able to see the added and control the added chains and the added drum rack pads and in audio effect racks. That's the immediate one that it's already in testing. Like you can actually observe and control the added. So you can start loading devices from the browser, from Max for Live. So that's already implemented, but I heard there's other stuff coming, especially more push stuff to the Max for Live. So under the live new notes, we can see right here, this is what I'm talking, track insert device and chain insert device and rack device insert. So you can actually start adding different things, which has potentially really great applications in the future. Will the push monitor also work for something like Launchpad? That's a good question. I'll have to test it out. But now Novation sent me the Launchpad Pro, so I'm going to release a lot of my stuff for the Launchpad Pro as well, now that I have it. It took Ableton over a decade to implement Poly Aftertouch and quite a while to get on board with MPE. I expect they'll add features. Yeah, I agree. Aaron, I agree completely. They might be just forced into the table. That being said, what they did with the MPE on the new push stuff is, I love it. That's like really showing the true potential of MPE pad matrix, like the push have. Controlling controlling chains from the push final frontier. Yeah, you can access chains now from the push. Yes, but I don't think you can group them and stuff like into chains. You'll have to already create them in Ableton. Yeah, exactly, Aaron. They're doing MPE the Ableton way, and it is great. It's like amazing. Hopefully, they will just improve it and add even more stuff. I was surprised at how amazing it feels to control that XY pad and the rhythm generators as faders. Amazing. Guys, before we're done today, I do want to share one more time, Juan, if you don't mind, the Discord link and also the newsletter link. Right here, you can join the newsletter because next Sunday, we're going to have another free workshop with Dylan Baston, including some giveaways. So that's Sunday, same time. Please join the Discord or join the newsletter or both so you can know about and sign up for another free workshop next week. And in 2 weeks, we're going to go back doing more of our genre-based workshops. Okay? Amazing. Everyone, thank you so much for... Oh, Vincent, what do you mean? My website? What happened? Thank you, Carla. Vincent, if you don't mind sending me a message on that, you can check out. Where are you based? Can you please email me on USA? That's weird. Can you send me a message on Discord or and we'll figure it out. Okay, we gotta fix it if you can check out. Thank you, Steven, Johnny, Daniel. Thank you so much. Aaron, no problem. You got it. Aaron, remind me if you need the recording, you don't get it. It's probably because I sent you the link later. So thank you, Juan, so much for your help. Thank you, man. Amazing. Yes, everyone had some great questions today. Okay, guys, I'll send you the recording tomorrow with all the links. Don't forget to join the newsletter and Discord so you can know. Anna, what's up, Anna? Oh, amazing. Everyone, have a great weekend. Golan. Hello, Adam. Thank you, everyone. Yes. Amazing. Animus, thank you. And thank you for editing. Peace, everyone. Vincent, please text me. Let's figure this out. Okay. Peace, everyone. Bye-bye.